MPs are returning to Parliament to take stock after an historic set of local elections saw Labour and the Conservatives suffer huge defeats. It comes as reports suggest the government could review policies considered unpopular by voters. Meanwhile, newly elected Reform UK MP Sarah Pochin is set to take her seat for the first time after winning the Runcorn and Helsby by-election last week. Our political correspondent Harry Horton joins me now from Westminster. Harry, there's talk of a change in policy on the winter fuel payment cut. What's the latest on that?
Well, yeah, there is pressure to change course on winter fuel. I was in Runcorn for that by-election last week and spoke to lots of voters there, and the issue of the cuts to some winter fuel payments came up a lot among voters. There was real anger about that issue, and lots of voters told me that was one of the reasons they wouldn't be voting for Labour in what was historically a pretty safe Labour seat. And if you speak to Labour MPs who've been up there over the past few weeks campaigning in that by-election, they were getting the same message on the doorstep. They feel this has become a toxic issue for the party, and there is now real pressure internally among Labour MPs for the government to look again. There was a story today in the Guardian newspaper that suggested that the government is considering changing the threshold at which people receive their winter fuel allowance. It would mean more people getting that winter fuel allowance this coming winter. This morning, the Health Secretary, Wes Streeting, has said that's not true. He said that Number 10 is not looking at changing course on winter fuel payments.
We have taken last Thursday's results on the chin. We know that unless people feel change in their lives, they will look for change elsewhere. And I know that winter fuel hasn't been popular on the doorsteps. I'm not aware of any plans to change that policy now, but we know that unless it's employers' national insurance or some of the other decisions the Chancellor's taken as well, we wouldn't be able to invest in our NHS and other public services.
Look, no doubt about it, there is pressure from the electorate and from Labour MPs for the government to look again at this issue, because many Labour MPs feel that this issue is now so serious that it could cost the party the next election.
OK, so testing times for the Labour government. What about the Conservative leader after those election results?
Yeah, well, Kemi Badenoch and her party had a pretty disastrous set of local elections. They lost more than 500 councillors, which was the benchmark that the party set earlier as a pretty bad night. So it was worse than their own worst case scenario expectations heading into those local elections. And lots of Conservative MPs now asking the question about whether Kemi Badenoch is the right person to lead this turnaround of the Conservative Party. One senior Conservative MP, one senior former Conservative leader, Ian Duncan Smith, has today tried to get his fellow MPs to stop talking about some sort of leadership change. He said that part of the reason the Conservative Party was kicked out of power was because they've had so many leadership changes in the past few years, and he's urging his colleagues to stick with Kemi Badenoch. But certainly there is a growing feeling in the party that she is not the right person to turn things round, and last week's local election results prove that.
As ever, we wait to see. Harry Horton, thank you very much. Thank you.